Okay, so these are all the books that I have read or am reading this month, and I'm going to chat about at least some of them. Hey guys, once again, welcome to a different format of a video. I decided I'm not doing weekly vlogs this week, or for a while, but I've been reading a lot of books, so I kind of wanted to do like a little mid-month check-in. I don't want to do like a full mid-month wrap-up, even though I've read quite a few books already. I kind of want to just do like one monthly wrap-up where I share all the books I've read. So today I'm just going to kind of like maybe show you which books I've read and then talk about some of them. So my plan for the next little while is, starting next week, I think I'm going to go down to 2 videos a week until the end of the year for sure, just to make the holidays, you know, have more time to read and more time with my family. I usually take an Instagram and Facebook break during the months of December, part of January, and part of November. This year I'm going to take a break from some of my Instagram accounts, as well as Facebook. I actually disabled a couple months ago already, and I just want to like slow down on some YouTube things. So videos will be going up Monday and Thursday instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which means next week I got Monday and then Thursday, which I know is American Thanksgiving, so probably like not a smart move on my part, because I'm sure you guys will be busy and won't actually watch the video on Thursday, but whatever, that's just how it's going to work. I think that's going to be my December TBR, so it should be a good one. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's just maybe start at the top here. This is what I'm currently reading. I'm reading this is Little Book of Bronte Poems. I think this is by Emily. Yeah, they're Emily Bronte poems. Yeah, currently reading. I'm not really going to talk about what I'm really reading right now. The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. I'm reading this for the Gilmoreathon. I'm about 104 pages in. This is book 2 in the series. Not even far enough to really actually say anything yet. And then the third book that I'm reading is The Lost Queen. I started this before the Gilmoreathon, and I got 118 pages, and then I've put it off while I do the Gilmoreathon. So far this book has not like gripped me. I really had high expectations, but it's just kind of missed so far, but not very far, so I can't really say for sure. Now let's get into the books that I have finished, and yeah, I'll be brief here. So this was my first book for the Gilmoreathon, You Owe Me a Murder. I read this yesterday in the span of about 3 hours. This is a YA thriller. I think this is only my second YA thriller that I've ever read. The other one was also by this author. It's called With Malice, I think. And that was before my booktube days. I remember it. It's like, I remember reading it, so it was decent, but I don't remember like why I liked it or didn't or whatever. This one was okay. Because this is only my second YA thriller, I have no idea if this is typical. I didn't find it really that thrilling, and the slight little twist that there was I kind of saw coming anyway, so like not super high in my books, but it wasn't terrible. One thing I've noticed, not so much in this book as much as some of the other thrillers that I read this month, is because thrillers have generally a decent amount of swearing. And I've been thinking a lot about where I stand with like swearing in books, because I know Holly likes to keep track of like how many of each swear is in each book. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately. Just like, what do I accept as far as swearing goes? And honestly, it depends on the book. Sometimes I feel like it's really out of place, and sometimes I feel like, well, this book is written by a non-Christian and these characters are non-Christians, and it feels like it's fitting for the situation, like this is what actual people would do. I don't like it to be over the top, but I'm a fast reader, and I kind of like skim read, or however, I don't know. So I don't actually like read every word. So I don't read every swear. I think if I was intentionally trying to sit there and like tally up how much of each swear, it would like get in my brain and like it would almost like exaggerate them. So yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I'll just kind of like have disclaimers if books do have swearing, because I know I have a lot of Christians on here and some people don't mind reading about it or reading books that do have it, and some people do. That one, You Owe Me a Murder, wasn't like a ton of swearing. It's just kind of like teenage kids every now and then kind of thing. Then I read The Brave Learner. Honestly, I skimmed most of this book. The first chapter started out really good. I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally excited. And then it just like kind of went downhill from there for me. I know lots of people like this. It's a homeschool, finding everyday magic in homeschool learning and life. So she took this idea that like homeschooling learning in general should be enchanting. Now I love the word enchanting because it makes me think of You've Got Mail and how her mother was enchanting. Yeah, but like overused. This word was so overused. And she tried to explain how learning should be magical, and that's fine. I totally get it. Like it should have these like awesome qualities, but it's like she was trying to, you know, have this analogy, and she worked really hard to make it work when it was like just obviously falling apart. And I wish she would just left that and actually like just given some practical examples a little bit more. Yeah, so this is by the woman Julie Bogart, who has Brave Writer, and from what I've read of her Brave Writer stuff, it's not like this at all. Like it's just practical advice on how to get your kids to write more and stuff. So this was kind of weird. Anyway, that was a really long, rambly, very brief, trying to be brief summary. I gotta be faster. Then I read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. Why does she sometimes go by Victoria Schwab and sometimes V.E. Schwab? That I don't understand. This is a middle grade book about a girl who has a ghost friend because she almost died, and this guy rescued her, but he's actually a ghost. But her parents actually write books about ghost hunting and stuff, and they go to Scotland and things go down. I don't know, it's kind of like a weird middle grade book. I had this from the library. People said they liked it, I think, from what I remember. And it was okay. I think I actually might have liked this as a kid, but now as an adult it was like, okay, well, that was obviously middle grade. I don't think my kids would enjoy it, but yeah, I read it. Next up, I read The Turn of the Key. This one was okay. So this is about a smart home, a nanny that goes work in a smart home. I did not see the twists coming. I really enjoyed that. There is quite a bit of swearing that I feel like was maybe not as fitting as some, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I'll end up rating it, but it was decent. This one I actually read after, I think I read this one after The Turn of the Key. This is No Exit. This is about a girl who is going home from college for Christmas, and she gets stuck in a snowstorm with a couple other people, and she sees a girl trapped in a vehicle beside her car, and she has to figure out how to rescue this kid, or if she even wants to. There was quite a bit of swearing in here. There is, now I understand what the term body horror people were talking about. I get it. This gets a little gruesome in some parts, but I actually found this book to be really good. The twists were really good, and our main character struggles with like what should she do in this situation, and it was so interesting to think or like hear her thought process as to like, you know, some people would just walk away and ignore it, but she couldn't, and so she's wondering how far does she go in this situation, how much does she put herself at risk, and I really enjoyed the thought process. Okay, then I read A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This is book 2 after A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I enjoyed this book more than book 1, which is interesting because book 1 is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and this totally goes off into its own thing. There was a definite twist that I didn't see coming that I was surprised by and kind of liked. Also, this book has the most hilarious acknowledgements ever. Yeah, maybe as a parent I really enjoyed it because her kids were arguing. I don't normally read the acknowledgements in the back of books, but like I'm so glad I did for this one. That was really funny. I also read The Doll Maker of Krakow finally. Like this is the most gorgeous cover probably that I even own. I just love it. I don't know what it takes to, you know, be an author that gets to have a beautiful cover, but like I feel bad for people that have less beautiful covers. Anyway, this is middle grade, kind of like with it's World War II fiction, but it's got a fantasy twist because this doll maker brings this doll to life, and she is our narrator, and I don't know, it was interesting. So we're talking about World War II, but she's also talking about her magical land, and I think maybe my daughter would like this. I think you need to give it to a kid that has like enough exposure to World War II, because I feel like the magical element, sometimes it's like, if a kid doesn't have a lot of knowledge about World War II, this might get confusing. I didn't enjoy necessarily the whole reading process, but I really loved the ending. I think this might be more of a middle grade book that adults would enjoy instead of a middle grade book that kids would enjoy. Okay, this was my most anticipated book this month, and that is The House on Foster Hill. Now this is Jamie Jo Wright's debut novel. So I kept that in mind when I was reading it. It was not as good, in my opinion, as her other ones. I felt, because this is historical fiction, romantic suspense, dual timeline, I felt like this one, the romantic part was much more stereotypical and predictable. It was a lot more like the average Christian romantic suspense book. But I can't believe like the hard topics that this woman talks about. I can't even tell you what the really hard topic that she addressed in this book was, because it really only comes up at the end, and it kind of like spoils the whole book if you know. But it was so prevalent in our world, and I really tip my hat off to her for tackling such hard subjects in her books. I am just completely amazed all the time. So I guess this is ending up being more like a, you know, mid-month wrap up, but I'm still going to talk about all these at the end of the month because I have a lot more to say about them. So I think maybe I need to start talking less about my books. And the first book I read this month was The Daughter of Sherlock Holmes. So a while ago I was just kind of like going through the library online and just trying to request all the like Sherlock-esque books, because I've read all of Sherlock and I'm missing Sherlock in my life and wanted something to replace it. So I thought I would try this series. So this is book one. The author is actually he writes medical thrillers. Oh, I think that's what these are. Oh really, this was a medical thriller? I wouldn't really say thriller, mystery for sure, but he used to be a physician, and so I found that the medical part of this very interesting, because it's like, well, this is like legit, not like a writer just like made this up. Yeah, so there is a romance in here that was like cringy to me. I was like, really, people? Well, I don't know. That was really cringy. But the actual rest of the book, like the mystery part, was really good. So I might, you know, try to read more books in the series in the future. Okay, so that wasn't too long, I don't think. Those are the books I've read so far / am reading, and that is a lot of books so far this month. We are just over halfway through the month. I don't know if I will like double that number, but I've realized that thrillers read really fast. I mean, 2 out of the 3 thrillers that I read in 3 hours, and they were like 300 pages. So yeah, I have a bunch more of those on my TBR cart and that I've gotten from the library recently. I'm going to have a library haul next, so keep an eye out for that on what it would be Friday. I think it's coming out then, right? I think so. Yeah, now I'm kind of like want to read a bunch more thrillers, but I'm worried that they're all going to seem the same. That's why I like to read from a variety of genres, so that, I don't know, I just don't get like stuck in that rut of that genre and see all their tropes all the time. But anyway, I got to wrap this up so I can keep reading my Gilmoreathon book. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I will chat with you in my next video.